6 o'clock, and the show begins at 7. Get tickets online at visionformore.com. That's vision, number 4, MOORE.com. Proceeds benefit Meals on Wheels of the Sandhills. So come out and enjoy the Billy Joel Tribute Band on Friday, June the 24th at Cooper Ford in Carthage.
Sandy Ridge Memory Care provides all the amenities of home while providing personalized resident care and a dedication to a safe, secure, and comfortable environment for your loved one. Providing care for dementia and Alzheimer's population has been our specialty for over 20 years. Research has proven that a loving, structured, and intimate home environment successfully fulfills the needs of both the one affected by dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as the family caregivers. As one of the largest memory care facilities in North Carolina, we feature 3 separate secure units within our community. Each wing is designed for individual needs and preferences. Call for an appointment or just drop in to tour our facility and discover for yourself the care that sets us apart. Located only minutes from Moore County and surrounding areas, Sandy Ridge Memory Care is the right place at the right time on Bowman Road in Candor or online at sandyridgeliving.com. Call 910-974-6000. This is more than just innovation. This is smarter innovation. This is GE Profile at Keys Appliance Center in downtown Aberdeen. This is no spills autofill for hands-free fill-up from your fridge. This is no preheat air fry.
Once he got the keys, he jumped into the vehicle and he proceeded to drive around the area. He decided to respond, walked up to the residence, identified himself as a Park County deputy, said he looked like he was intoxicated.
Experts at Keys Appliance Center, located at 104 East Main Street, downtown Aberdeen. Call us at 910-944-8887 or shop online at keysappliance.com.
Thanks for help bringing the economy back. One local purchase at a time.
Kind of uplifts you and you feel better.
It's the greatest comeback of all time. With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom. Always.
He's a 10, but he has the exact same voice as your brother.
4. 3. He's a 2, but he really knows how to dress.
5.
8.
He's a 4, but he has really, really good tattoos.
7.
10.
He's a 9, but wears open-toe flip-flops.
2. He's a 10, but on a daily basis, he wears really long basketball shorts and wife beaters.
1. Negative 12.
He's a pretty famous guy, and I, for one, am really glad he lived. I'll tell you what. He started his adventures on the high seas as a cabin boy. He worked in the galley. He worked his way up to captain and had all kinds of adventures. He used to deliver supplies to San Francisco during the California gold rush. He had to sail around the very dangerous seas of Cape Horn at the tip of South America. On one trip, he rescued 7 sailors on a sinking ship. Oh, well, that sounds like a tongue twister. For that, he was honored by Queen Isabella II. But honestly, sorry, Captain Gregory, but I couldn't care less about all your adventures. What he did as a cabin boy. You ready? This guy was the inventor of one of my all-time favorite things, the donut. The only thing ahead of him is the air conditioner inventor. I guess you could work in a few others, but these would remain in the top 10 for me. And yeah, I do know this is ridiculous, but I do love donuts. Even so, I hope you have a wonderful day and a safe one from the Zumwalt Zone.
It appears the bigger heat is backing off, not to return anytime soon. Yesterday was 100 in Raleigh, 101 in Fayetteville, not even close today. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. It's partly to mostly cloudy. A chance for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, especially in the southern counties. Partly cloudy tonight. It's a little cooler with mid to upper 60s for our low temperatures. Tomorrow it's partly cloudy, a little less humid, upper 80s to about 90 for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM. WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us. What day is it?
Today, June 23rd, is National Pink Day.
And yes, it really is a thing.
Today we celebrate being in the pink.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Pink.
That's my favorite color.
We don't love pink. Pink loves me.
I smell pink.
Pink. It's all pink.
Happy National Pink Day.
Showtime.
Good morning, Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sand Hills. It is time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Hey, good morning, Moore County. Let me see. Thursday, sun's up. Weather's pretty nice yet. Hadn't gotten too steamy out there, so still got some time to get out and enjoy your morning. And then, sit back and relax in the air conditioner because it's supposed to get pretty hot.
Yep, we can thank Mr. Carrier for making the difference in our life every day. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on our live video stream. That's up and running for you right now at talk973.com or talk1041.com. or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the page is where the link's located. If you're on a mobile device, you can get to us with YouTube. Go there and put Mornings with the LeaderMan in the search. Or you can get our stream anytime that you want to, our audio stream that goes out, the broadcast signal, by going to our website and go to the upper right-hand corner of every page where it says On the Air Listen Live. That's in the upper right-hand corner. And click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area is going to be, well, partly cloudy, chance of thunderstorms later on, high of 89. That's the big break on the temperature, about 10 degrees. Dew points, be a slight sticky, but tolerable. Tonight, partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorm, 68. Friday, mostly sunny. Still, the dew point's okay. We can live with it. 88 degrees. If you don't know what dew point is, that's humidity combined with temperature. So just think lower humidity. Saturday and Sunday, both sunny with a high around 90. Right now, around the Sand Hills, solar radiation, 56 watts per square meter. Pressure 3018, winds calm, dew point 68 and dropping, humidity 84%. It is sunny and 73 degrees here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All right, it is 7:35, 35 past the hour on this Thursday morning. Glad to have you make us a part of your day. Let's see. Let's liven it up a little bit and kick off the morning with the late night unit boys and see if they got a single joke amongst them We shall see.
This is big. The FDA just announced that they are banning all Juul e-cigarettes in the U.S. No more Juul. No more Juul. That'll explain tomorrow when you see a bunch of your coworkers sucking on a Glade plug-in. I'm like, you got anything? You got anything? Hey, guys, get this. This is real. I read a new report that said jacuzzis can actually be hacked and controlled by other people remotely. So the next time you're relaxing in a jacuzzi, remember that the Russians can boil you like a lobster.
Health officials in New Jersey this week discovered their first suspected case of monkeypox, and because it's Jersey, you know that's going to be that guy's nickname forever. The mayor of Moffat, Colorado, which has 70 dispensaries but only 120 residents, said in a new interview that she is considering changing the name of the town to Kush. Said residents, yeah, we know you said the same thing like 20 minutes ago.
So what's a Juul e-cig? Is that just a make of a particular
That's
type?
a brand of e-cigarette, yeah.
Oh, so there's a problem with Juul, the manufacturer of Juul.
They think it caters to young folks too much.
Oh.
And getting them in on it.
Kind of like Joe Cool, the Camel.
Well, they come with a little reservoir of flavor. You can get anything from cherry to tobacco.
Oh, okay.
And you put it in there, and it creates, and a little heat strip comes on when you press the button, and you suck in basically the vapor from the cartridge.
Well,
and then you blow out a mountain of smoke.
With an e-cig, I understand what e-cigarettes are, but Juul, I've never heard of it.
Well, it's something else stupid kids to spend money on.
Are they any safer than regular cigarettes?
Not really. You get hooked on the nicotine.
Oh, well, yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I was a smoker for a long time, so I have no room to talk. But it was the dumbest thing I ever did. Sure did cost a lot of money. Stunk everything up. After you become an ex-smoker, you realize how bad that crap smells.
Yeah. Well, it's like anything else. It's any other bad habit people have. I mean, cigarettes, all the things you just described. But then you have drinking, and that's a bad habit.
Yeah.
And I hardly drink anything anymore. And then you just have, any habit, any thing that you're spending money on, moderation or whatever. You got people who got their baseball card collections and, have gone by. I know one guy bought all this stuff and traded with it and all that, and he ended up broke, even though he handled some really high value cards in his day. He just just got out of hand, and it was like gambling. There's another bad habit. So,
Yep.
Yeah, it's just you got to be careful with pretty much anything you do. You're spending your money
on. Let's see. A guy named Lane Geardes, well, he crashed his car and he flipped onto its side. And when he was waiting for help to come get him out of the vehicle, he posted a video on Instagram. What do you always do when you have a car wreck? Oh, I know. Let everybody see it. Well, he's okay, but here's what he thought was the worst part of the car accident.
I'm wondering if the radio stays on when you get into a car accident. It does, and it just plays Drake.
All right, so he had a car accident and the radio was playing.
He has no life. Yeah, he says you don't know what it does when you have a radio accident. It keeps playing.
Yeah, well,
and it's Drake.
Unless the accident is bad enough where you end up eating that radio, and then it won't be playing. Okay, well, whatever. Okay.
Couple from Kansas recently went on vacation to Las Vegas and left their dog Dexter at a kennel. Then they got an alert from their doorbell cam after he broke out by scaling a 6-foot fence.
Yeah.
and found his way back to their home 2 miles away. Well, they talked to him over the speaker while someone at the kennel drove and got him. They say he's really smart, sometimes too smart for his own good. Here's the owner talking to the dog over the speaker.
Hi, buddy. Stay there. Dexter, sit. Oh, I know, buddy. I'm sorry. What a smart boy, though. Good boy. Dexter, come here. Good boy. Here comes some lights. That's them. Good boy. Thank you.
Well, that makes your doorbell cam worth the price right there.
I guess
being able to take care of your dog. What kind of dog was it? Did it say?
It didn't say.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, there's some very intelligent dogs out there.
Wait a minute, I might have video on it. So let me see.
Yeah. We had a dog years ago. Was a escape artist. You couldn't keep him locked up. I mean, he'd figure it out and he'd get out.
Okay, he's mid-sized mutt.
Yeah, kind of a Okay.
Heinz 57. They make the best dogs.
Yeah, generally speaking, they do.
He's scratching at the back door, wanting to get in.
Yeah, they're something else. I don't know. Dogs, love them. What can you say?
I know. They're always glad to see you. I don't care about that. Here's a perfect story for National Pink Day, which this is today. Park officials in Western New York just reclaimed the Guinness World Record for the longest line of pink garden flamingos. Here is Katie Stevenson, Director of Development at the Buffalo Olmsted Park Conservancy, talking about the work it took to break the record and the new record being announced.
For about 6 months now. You may not believe it, but they have a very long list of guidelines for the longest line of garden flamingo. So they're going through with the judge now. They're counting.
I can confirm that I have counted every single flamingo here today, and the final number, 4280. Guinness World Records title. Congratulations.
Yeah, okay. All right. I guess if you got nothing else to do, you can start lining up your pink flamingos.
Yeah, pretty much. The internet is pretty stunned by Dior selling a garden kit for $8,700. Well, now others high-end and stores are getting into the action, just like Dior.
First, Dior had the $9,000 gardening kit. And not to be outdone, Tiffany introduces the $50,000 toilet bowl cleaner set. Comes complete with mahogany toilet bowl brush with platinum handle and brush bristles made with baby porcupine butt quills. Gloves made from imported Brazilian rubber and encrusted with bleached pearls. And washing cloth designed by Armani made from rare Egyptian cotton. And it all comes in the classic Tiffany blue box. The $50,000 toilet bowl cleaner set. And coming soon, the $5,000 tank of gas.
I don't care what you say, you're still scrubbing poop.
Yeah, the 5,000 tank of gas is, yeah, that's coming.
All right, well, we've heard the news, but what about the not headline news?
This is not headline news. Today is National Hydration Day. And never forget, the ice in your breakfast margarita counts as water. Ferrari says they will never make a self-driving car, but they have pledged to do all they can to create a non-balding driver. A Florida man was busted stealing a street sweeper. He was hoping to make a clean getaway. Longtime WWE referee Tim White passed away. Wrestling fans honored him by lowering their barbed wire tattoos to half bicep. And Jason Mraz turns 45 today, though his unrelenting blandness remains eternal. This is not headline news.
Okay, who's that last guy they're talking about?
I don't know. I was reading ahead here.
Oh, all right. Sorry. I have no clue who any of those people were.
Well, maybe you'll know this. We're going to play a little Name That Sound.
Oh, no.
Just one.
Just one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
See if you can figure out why this woman is laughing, then breathing deeply, then screaming in pain. No, she didn't see me. But see if you know why she is, what she's screaming in pain about.
I don't think I can do it. Put your hand up. I'm so scared, Maggie. Oh, God, help me, Maggie. Ah! Go. Just go. Ah! Ow. I'm bleeding. It hurt.
Any idea?
No, I don't. I have no clue what would engender that type of response.
Okay, I'm going to play it again and give you some. I'll tell you what it is.
I don't think I can do it. Put your hand up. I'm so scared.
This lady's having someone remove an acrylic nail from her finger.
An acrylic nail.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding.
Only 9 more to go.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. I guess that's what you do. You glue those things on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought you'd like used acetone, nail remover, acetone or something to get those off. I mean, would they
I don't
just
know.
yanking
Since
them
I don't
off?
wear them, I have no idea.
Okay. Well, that. All right. Well, that's something. I was going to say something men don't worry about normally, but maybe that's not true anymore.
Most men.
I had no clue. I've seen those things sometimes. Some of them are like 6 inches long or whatever. These people are walking,
I know.
clicking them together, and I'm like, oh man, you.
Well, they work in a restaurant and they're clicking on the touch screen with their fingers and those nails sticking up 5 inches.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
That's scary. Oh man.
A Colorado man was arrested after he stole a police vehicle. Authorities say he then started answering calls. It even showed up to a domestic violence call. Here is Park County Sheriff Tom McGraw talking about Jeremiah James Taylor stealing one of their patrol cars.
Once he got the keys, he jumped into the vehicle and he proceeded to drive around the area. He decided to respond, walked up to the residence, identified himself as a Park County deputy, said he looked like he was intoxicated.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's something they always taught us, when they're going through training. You got your patrol car or your vehicle. We had SUVs, and you pull up or whatever. You don't leave your keys in the vehicle, and you don't leave the door open.
Yeah.
You lock it, and always,
if you like it back,
yeah, you always have an extra set of keys, because that was part of the training thing. Hey, they give you some scenario and you show up, and then somebody pops up out of nowhere and steals your vehicle if you leave it open and running, kind of thing. So, yeah, they try to teach you that.
Or you cut your blue lights on in the middle of the forest. Like, who's gonna see it?
Well, I could give you a story too convoluted, but yeah, I tell you what, sitting down on one of those dark black nights.
Well, I'm not talking about it during the day or something.
Looking for spotlighters and poachers, etc.
Yeah.
And we had blackout vehicles, so you step on the button and your brake lights, all that blacks out. And, the poacher drives right by you half the time, doesn't see you, and you pull out and you just kind of follow him for a little bit, and you just wait.
And all of a sudden you light up.
And you wait, and then whoop, whoop, and lights. The gun goes out the window, and hands go up, and drive in the ditch, and all. Yeah, it's great. It's a lot of
fun. Let's see. According to a new study in 2022, New York State is the best state for a road trip and the worst in Rhode Island. These 3 main pillars that make a good state good for a road trip are low costs, high safety, and the quality and quantity of activities. Here's a montage about road trips, including the Lindsey Buckingham song Holiday Road.
Got lost on the way to Disneyland because instead of following the road signs, my dad just followed a bus with the Disneyland ad on it. We were stuck in traffic for so long, only one side of my face got sunburned. I look like a Batman villain.
I'm in the back seat like an ant under a magnifying glass.
Are we there yet?
No.
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 Are we there yet?
Didn't that song come from the first family vacation? Griswold family vacation?
National Lampoon's
Yeah.
Family Day. That's where I've heard it, but I don't know if it originated there.
Well, some doctors been awful busy. Got some good news here. 15 nurses at Missouri Hospital are all pregnant or have given birth around the same time. Here are two of the nurses, Allie and Caitlin, talking about their experience being pregnant and having babies all at the same time.
It's so exciting to do with everybody. We have such a different perspective as OB nurses, so to be able to experience this together has been such a relief, but also really, really exciting.
I thought I was the only one that was trying to get pregnant, and I was my first pregnancy, so I was trying to keep quiet till about 12 weeks, but then other people started announcing, and I was just at work like, I need my own business, and then all of a sudden we started telling everybody, and it was just like every 2 weeks, everyone just kept coming on. We're like, okay. And I told, we had a new secretary joined, I was like, better take a pregnancy test when you go home.
Sure makes them chatty, doesn't it?
Well, when they take their maternity leave, they're going to have to close the place down.
Yeah, really.
How about that?
From our Twitter feed this morning, Rona McDowell, chairwoman of the GOP, said the only solution for record high gas prices is to unleash American energy. She also said Biden is still never visited our southern border. You know, that's crisis one and crisis two together. And the man's a complete buffoon about both.
Well, we go on and on about it, and it isn't going to get any better. Elections are the answer. So,
he's finding out that the
keep this in mind, people.
Spanish American people are not happy with this.
Well, that's the most telling thing is that one district down there along the Rio Grande, the southern border in Texas, where that young lady just won that seat that had been held so long by the Democrats. That's very telling. And there's plenty of Hispanics out and about not happy with this stuff.
This just in, grocery giant Public says they will not be offering COVID vaccines to children under 5.
Well, that's the smart thing to do. Not hearing much good about COVID vaccines here lately, and Publix is probably the smart thing to do. They're, because the only thing you can do, since this stuff is still experimental, they never did field the approved vaccine, and so you can't sue the vaccine manufacturer for any problems that arise.
No.
The only person you can go after is the guy that stuck it in your arm. So that's that's Publix saying, hey, we're out. We're not gonna harm little kids. And I mean that's really the smart thing to do. The Canadians. There's a Canadian man. He's got the first award for the damage done to him by that vaccine. That came out last week. I don't know if you guys discussed it here in the last few days, but there's a Canadian guy. I can't tell you what the specifics are for the damage done to him, but heart damage and other things, and he just got quite a bit of an award. So it's coming. The flood is coming on this stuff.
Some people will develop a long list of problems. Dorothy, who works here, still has trouble with taste from having it.
She thinks it's from the vaccine or from the COVID?
I don't know if it's from the vaccine or not. She had the vaccine, didn't she?
I don't know.
When she got the COVID?
I know she had COVID, but I don't know. Yeah, I think she was saying, hey, I had, when she had COVID, she lost her taste and smell and all that kind of thing, and hasn't gotten some of it back. So I don't know. ascribe that problem to the vaccine. But yeah, this is and then you start looking. It's not on mainstream media. Fox doesn't even cover it. But yesterday or the day before, you had a 26-year-old NFL player, linebacker, active on the Baltimore Ravens. I think he was. He dropped dead. I just looked here this morning. There was a professional swimmer at some competition. She passed out in the pool and went to the bottom of the pool.
Yeah, they were doing synchronized swimming.
Yeah, had to be saved. And there's just many stories of professional athletes and even just young kids out competing in various sports, and they're just really bad news that people are just dropping dead.
Yeah,
and I don't know what to say. I mean, it's
keep the needle out of your arm.
Well, it's. They're not making that connection. The medical people are refusing to make any connection between that and why all these young people are now having all these problems. Not all of them are dying, but a lot of them are having other kind of circulatory, heart problems, etc. And when you look pre-COVID, pre-vaccine, look at the incident of these types of things happening as compared to after, and it's many times the number of people are having these problems now. So I don't know. You tell me what the deal is. I got an idea, but nobody's going to admit to it.
Well, have you done the He's a 10 game TikTok is obsessed about right now?
No, TikTok.
What you do is you ask someone a question and start with, he's a 10 or she's a 10. Then you name bad things about them and see how far their rating drops. The weirder, the better. For example, listen to these that we chose from many.
He's a 10, but he has the exact same voice as your brother.
4. 3. He's a 2, but he really knows how to dress. 8.
5.
8.
He's a 4, but he has really good tattoos.
7.
10.
He's a 9, but wears open-toe flip-flops.
2. He's a 10, but on a daily basis, he wears really long basketball shorts and wife beaters.
1. Negative 12.
Wife beaters? Are we still able to call articles of clothing wife beaters?
I don't get it.
I thought we had to cross that one out of the lexicon. Wife beaters. Oh my God.
Is it a shoe or something?
What? No, that's that sleeve. It used to be a sleeveless T-shirt. Wife beater T-shirt. We call them something else, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Tank tops.
No, just a sleeveless, T-shirt.
Tank tops.
Well, I guess if that's what you called them, I called them something else. They had another nickname where I was from. Not going to say it.
Okay. All right, coming up on 8 o'clock, your latest news, sports, and weather is up next in the queue. And we'll be back on the backside right here.
It appears the bigger heat is backing off, not to return anytime soon. Yesterday was 100 in Raleigh, 101 in Fayetteville, not even close today. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. It's partly to mostly cloudy. A chance for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, especially in the southern counties. Partly cloudy tonight. It's a little cooler with mid to upper 60s for our low temperatures. Tomorrow it's partly cloudy, a little less humid, upper 80s to about 90 for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Broadcasting from the top of the North Carolina Sandhills, 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB, Southern Pines, Pinehurst, Aberdeen.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Biden administration officials meet with oil industry executives later today. They'll talk about increasing output and lowering prices.
Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre says the goal is to sit down with energy company executives and come up with solutions.
That we work with the CEOs to figure out what else that we can do to move that capacity forward.
The meeting comes after President Biden sent letters to the 7 oil company CEOs last week, urging them to boost the supply of gasoline and diesel. Greg Clugston, the White House.
The president's plea to Congress to approve a 3-month federal gas tax holiday being dismissed by Republicans as a gimmick. Interestingly enough, Barack Obama said the very same thing about a gas tax holiday during the 2008 presidential campaign, labeling it a gimmick as well. And Moody's Analytics chief economist Mark Zandi does not expect Congress to suspend federal gasoline and diesel taxes.
It has to go through Congress, agreed to by Republicans, and into legislation and signed by the president. That's a pretty heavy lift, particularly in this political environment. So it's worthy of conversation and considering. But at the end of the day, I think the probability of this actually happening is much less than even.
Zandi says a 3-month pause in the tax would have only a minimal impact at the gas pump anyway. There is another hearing scheduled for today for the Democrat-dominated House panel. It's been investigating the U.S. Capitol riot. And today, some former Justice Department officials are due to testify. Watching Wall Street, stock futures suggest a higher open later this morning. Right now, the Dow futures are up about 174 points. NASDAQ futures ahead 124, and S&P futures 30 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
The fight for the unborn is raging in our country. An unprecedented leak from the Supreme Court indicates that Roe v. Wade is on the brink of being overturned. The debates have never been stronger. During this critical time, a new movie is about to be released. The award-winning film, The Matter of Life, cuts through the rhetoric and hatred and exposes the real issues surrounding the plight of the unborn. The Matter of Life. Stream it today at salemnow.com and have your own life transformed as you watch The Matter of Life. Watch it now at salemnow.com.
Locals across eastern Afghanistan digging graves in villages that have been reduced to rubble by a powerful earthquake that has killed at least 1,000 people.
One villager interviewed by the state-run news agency says in Pashto 35 members of his family died in the quake, including his sons and grandchildren. Meanwhile, survivors are digging, many by hand, through hard-to-reach villages in the east, which have been reduced to rubble. The agency adds.
But because I'm a human trash can, I decided that wasn't enough for me. It wasn't giving like 70s porn star. So over quarantine...
He's a 7, but he has a mustache and he smokes Marlboro Reds.
9. Story time. So I married a very conventionally handsome man. He is tall, broad-shouldered, symmetrical-faced, a former athlete. But because I'm a human trash can, I decided that wasn't enough for me. It wasn't giving like 70s porn star. So over quarantine, I made him grow a mustache, and I didn't stop there. I made him grow a handlebar mustache. I took him from like a 10 in my books to a 13. Am I the drama?
He's a 7, but he has a mustache and he smokes Marlboro Reds.
9. Story time. So I married a very conventionally handsome man. He is tall, broad-shouldered.
She's a 10, but she hates sports.
6. He's a 10, but he doesn't.
He's an 8, but he plats his pubes.
What? 0. You said weird.
He's a 9, but he drinks his own cum.
He's a 10, but he bites his nails.
Ooh, 4.
Yeah, 4.
He's a 9, but he has really smelly feet.
So
So he's a 10.
10 but.
Take my shoes and walk a mile, so what you can't do. Hey, big talks of the town.
Are you calling those guys?
He's a 10, but he kisses his parents on the lips.
There's a sticker on the thermostat with an old phone.
Okay, he's a 5, but his favorite singer is the
Take a chance, and you'll be thrilled to find you're getting real value for your heating and cooling.
7. He is a 3, but he's a doctor. He's a 9, but he cries during every romance movie. I think that's sweet. I feel like a 7. He's a 10, but he doesn't know how to swim. Still a 10 because I don't really swim. That's like a basic life skill. He's an 8, but he keeps his Crocs in sport mode during sex.
I mean, the fact that we're wearing Crocs during this experience automatically is like a 0. That would never happen.
He is a 10, but he kisses his parents on the lips. 0. Okay, he's a 5, but his favorite singer is the Dixie Chicks. 7. He is a 3, but he's a doctor. Hey. He's a 9, but he cries during every romance movie.
When you're ready for your next painting project, there's only one place to go for high-quality products. JB Short Carpet 1 at Southern Pines carries premium Benjamin Moore paints for any type of project. Benjamin Moore offers unmatched color and durability, so color will last for years to come. And when you shop JB Short Carpet 1 in Southern Pines, you're not just improving your home, you're supporting a local business too. Benjamin Moore for everything that matters. JB Short Carpet 1, Highway 1 North between Southern Pines and Bass, or on the web at shortcarpet1.com.
Many of our neighbors are going to the emergency room with a heart attack or stroke. Some don't make it. Even though they work, they're caught in the coverage gap with no health insurance. They can't afford medications and doctor's appointments. We can fix this. Let's close the health insurance coverage gap. Tell your lawmaker the time is now. Our neighbors deserve it. Text GAP to 46839 to learn more. That's GAP to 46839. Paid for by the American Heart Association. Sandy Ridge Memory Care provides all the amenities of home while providing personalized resident care and a dedication to a safe, secure, and comfortable environment for your loved one. Providing care for dementia and Alzheimer's population has been our specialty for over 20 years. Research has proven that a loving, structured, and intimate home environment successfully fulfills the needs of both the one affected by dementia and Alzheimer's, as well as the family caregivers. As one of the largest memory care facilities in North Carolina, we feature 3 separate secure units within our community. Each wing is designed for individual needs and preferences. Call for an appointment or just drop in to tour our facility and discover for yourself the care that sets us apart. Located only minutes from Moore County and surrounding areas, Sandy Ridge Memory Care is the right place at the right time. On Bowman Road in Candor or online at sandyridgeliving.com. Call 910-974-6000.
Did harsh winter weather and spring pollen leave your home or business looking tired and dingy? Let Gentle Renew clean it for you using their top-rated gentle exterior cleaning or pressure washing and make it look new again. They can clean driveways, patios, exterior siding, stained roofs, and they can even clean your gutters and windows. A local, better-known family business, they will get the job done right. Call them for a quote at 910-565-9245 or visit them on the web at gentlerenew.com and see for yourself how they will make your home or business look new again.
NCN News, I'm Tony Rixby. AAA says gas prices falling once again overnight last night, going down 5 cents to $4.95. Bill Flynn is an oil industry analyst. He says it's supply and demand.
Generally, we see those prices start to come down after these 3-day holidays.
An unusual coalition of social conservatives and liberal Democrats halting legislation in the General Assembly that would allow sports gambling in North Carolina. Durham County Representative Marcia Morey among the opponents.
We cannot do this only for the sake of businesses winning when the payout is against the people.
The idea is still alive because one of the measures passed by a 1-vote margin. Hearing more about the gun safety legislation that has been part of a compromise
Court adjourns for the year. Here's Stacey Lynn.
The Supreme Court will hand down more decisions today and have added another day of rulings tomorrow. Still on the docket, the court's biggest gun control case since 2008, when it ruled that the Second Amendment guaranteed your right to have a gun at home for self-defense. Now it's considering whether states can regulate carrying guns outside the home. The most notable case left is all about abortion rights, and the justices could overturn the landmark Roe v. Wade decision.
You're listening to NCN News.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell, and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Our Cookie Two-Step Ice Cream is a creamy vanilla ice cream with hints of brown sugar, chunks of chocolate cream-filled cookies, and tasty chocolate chip cookie dough pieces. Cookie Two-Step has everybody's taste buds two-stepping, and one and two.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Charlotte Motor Speedway owner Bruton Smith, the founder of Speedway Motorsports, died yesterday at the age of 95. He started promoting races in the 1940s, built one of the biggest companies in the racing industry. NASCAR Hall of Fame Executive Director Winston Kelly telling WBTV.
Pioneer, visionary, innovator.
The Consumer Price Index shows that Americans are spending 34.6% more on energy, including fuel and utilities. Donald Bullenkamp is an economics professor at Duke, telling NCN News.
Inflation has gotten so far out of control, the Fed is going to have to administer such bitter medicine to the economy that we're really not going to escape a recession, I think. I think the only silver lining is, again, I think it's going to be on the mild side.
Bullenkamp says he expects a mild recession early in 2023. An ASPCA survey shows 23 million American households acquired a pet during the pandemic. Now, local dog rescue groups are in need of help as more people are returning dogs. Founder of Perfectly Imperfect Pups, Nicole Kincaid, says owner surrenders are at an all-time high.
So while the shelter is getting full, there's not as many foster homes open, so those dogs at the shelter are at risk.
And she says the problem is expected to be worse for the next month or so because of more people going back to work and turning in those dogs. A report released from State Treasurer Dale Falwell says 7 large hospital systems in North Carolina reaping sizable benefits last year, even as they received billions of dollars in federal pandemic assistance.
We have no clear look as to what they're spending their money on, and by evidence of what I'm getting ready to show you, which was the master price list that was sent to me as the state treasurer, we don't know what things cost either.
Tony Rixby, NCN News.
The big heat that we had yesterday is gone. We've lost that influence, so the heat later today not as intense. Mid to upper 80s. It'll be partly to mostly cloudy. A slight chance for a shower or a storm. Tonight is partly cloudy. It's a little cooler. Lows in the mid to upper 60s. And then tomorrow, partly cloudy. It's a little less humid. Our high temperatures in the upper 80s to about 90. We expect similar temperatures over the weekend and the humidity dropping just a little bit more. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
Right now here in the Sand Hills area, it's sunny, 73 degrees, humidity at 85%, dew point 68, winds are calm, gusting to 1, pressure 30-20, and solar radiation 71 watts per square meter. It's 8:15. Let's take a look at your Sand Hills news for this Thursday morning. Officers in Cumberland County are searching for 2 suspects who stole a generator from a middle school Saturday. Officers say Gregory Santillo, 53, and an unknown male stole an $80,000 multi-grip generator from Spring Lake Middle School using a rented U-Haul truck. Both suspects were seen earlier in the day pulling the camper behind the U-Haul. According to the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office, Santillo is wanted for felony larceny and possession of stolen goods. He is also wanted in several other countries and is suspect in several recent larcenies within the city of Fayetteville. Police found the generator Wednesday morning. North Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating a deadly crash in Cumberland County. It happened just after 1 p.m. yesterday on NC 210. An SUV apparently crossed the center line and collided with the flatbed truck. A passenger in the SUV was killed. Both drivers were taken to a hospital. And a soldier who was struck and killed by a vehicle in Duplin County on Sunday has been identified as Sergeant Michael Daniel Hagan, 28, of San Antonio, Texas. Daniel Hagan was assigned to the 5th Battalion, 1st Special Warfare Training Group Airborne at the U.S. Army John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School. Daniel Hagan was participating in a training exercise when he was identified as needing medical treatment. After completing the Psychological Operations Qualification course, Daniel Hagan became ill and was taken to Womack Army Medical Center for treatment. But because of limited bed space, Womack coordinated with the Naval Hospital in Camp Lejeune to treat Daniel Hagan while en route. Daniel Hagan got out of the ambulance when it pulled over on the side of US 17 near Warsaw. That's when he was struck by oncoming traffic and was pronounced dead at the scene. That's your WEEB local news this morning from the Sandhill Sentinel. And, of course, you can go online to sandhillsentinel.com for more information. It is 8:18. Sports is next, right here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB.
The Morning Sports Report is brought to you by Hughes Supply of Pinehurst. With over 50 years' experience, Hughes Supply can handle all your plumbing project needs from start to finish. Call 910-295-5541 or visit them online at HughesSupplyPinehurst.com.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach. Nazim Kadri scored 12:02 of overtime, and the Colorado Avalanche beat the Lightning 3-2 last night in Tampa in Game 4 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and they are now within a victory of dethroning the two-time defending champions. Playing for the first time since June 4th due to a thumb injury, Kadri slipped a shot under the goaltender's right arm to give Colorado a 3-1 series lead, but there was some confusion on the game winner because it got stuck at the top of the net, and everyone lost sight of it for a minute. Most people, anyway. The call on Sportsnet Canada.
Here comes Kadri shooting. It's in. And it's in, or is it? Where is it? Does Vasilevsky have it?
No, it's in. It's in the back of the net.
And yes, it is. A Nazem Kadri game-winning goal.
Kadri reacted to the Lightning coach's John Cooper's argument that the goal was not a legitimate one.
I'm not quite sure what he's thinking, why it shouldn't have counted. That kind of confuses me a little bit. You know, the puck hit the back of the net. End of story. So not sure why you'd say that.
Cooper's argument actually centered around his belief that there were too many Avs players on the ice when Kadri scored the game winner. It just looked that way, though, because the Avs caught the Lightning on a change when Kadri slipped by. Game 5 is Friday night in Denver. Former Hurricanes coach Paul Maurice and the Florida Panthers have finalized a deal to make him the next head coach. He replaces Panthers interim Andrew Brunette. Maurice is 4th all-time in games coach and 7th all-time in wins. He most recently was the coach in Winnipeg before stepping down there in December. And Hornets owner Michael Jordan has resumed his search for a head coach after Warriors assistant Kenny Atkinson said thanks but no thanks to a 4-year deal that he then reneged on. The Hornets have 2 picks in the first round of tonight's draft, and there's no head coach in place to help facilitate the decisions. Charlotte GM Mitch Kupchak is expected to make those calls with some input from Jordan on the 13th and 15th picks overall. This is NCN Sports.
Look at that view. Too bad it can't compete with you.
You're my little sunset. On land, parents snuggling with one another is described by the kids as so gross. Ugh, and guys, please.
Stop that.
However, on a boat, it's kind of sweet and, aw, cute. That's why it's crucial the family saved by bundling their boat insurance with Geico. Savings means more gas money and boating out on the water. The place where a canoodling parental couple is, aw, cute.
I love you more.
Geico for your boat. Bundle and save even more. Power.
If you pay your city or town for electricity, you live in a public power community. Public power is there when you need it, with a reliability rating of 99.9%. And as a public power customer, you experience fewer outages and faster restoration compared to those served by other electric providers. Better reliability, fewer outages, faster restoration. That's the value of public power. Learn more at electricities.com.
The U.S. House Committee says Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder conducted a shadow investigation that sought to discredit former employees making accusations of workplace sexual harassment. The committee is investigating the team's workplace culture following accusations of pervasive sexual harassment by team executives of women employees. Tony Siragusa, the charismatic defensive tackle who helped lead the stout Baltimore defense to a Super Bowl title, has died at the age of 55. There's no word on a cause. Known as the Goose, Siragusa played 7 seasons with the Colts and 5 with the Ravens, the latter team winning the 2000 Super Bowl behind a defense that included Siragusa, Ray Lewis, and Sam Adams. Then Baltimore Ravens linebacker Jalen Ferguson, also dead at the age of 26. Police say the cause of death is still to be determined, but foul play is not suspected at this time. Josh Zach, NCN Sports.
We're proud to be working with our local businesses for the greatest comeback of all time.
Come together.
With Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM. WEEB.
Sears low price guarantee and price match policy. We will not be undersold. Hi, this is Katherine Phelps, new owner of your local hometown Sears store, where creating relationships and helping our customer make an informed buying decision is our business. Remember, we will price match any in-stock local competitor. See store for details. Shop your local Sears hometown store in the Town and Country Shopping Center, Aberdeen.
Did you know 80% of Americans think pre-planned funeral arrangements are a good idea? At Pines Funerals, we encourage our community to have a plan in place to take care of those you love so that your final wishes are observed. Call 910-947-2224 or visit us at pinesfunerals.com today to request free planning information and see why more families prefer Pines. Pines Funerals, in association with Fry and Prickett, Kennedy, and Powell Funeral Homes, serving Carthage, Robbins, Southern Pines, and surrounding communities.
Cooper Ford on Highway 15501 in Carthage is sponsoring an outdoor event with the Billy Joel Tribute Band, Friday, June the 24th.
Time, they will tell you you can't sleep alone in a strange place. Then they tell you you can't sleep with somebody else. Do you remember those days hanging out at the village green? Engineered boots, leather jackets, and tight blue jeans. Yeah, you drop a dime in the box, play a song about New Orleans.
Gates open at 6 o'clock and the show begins at 7. Get tickets online at visionformore.com. That's vision, the number 4, MOORE.com. Proceeds benefit Meals on Wheels of the Sandhills. So come out and enjoy the Billy Joel Tribute Band on Friday, June the 24th at Cooper Ford in Carthage.
Hi, this is Rich Wagner from Whispering Pines. I've been suffering with acute back and knee pain for many months, and after trying visits to the doctor, painkillers, and spinal injections with no relief, I went to see Dr. Wright at Wright Chiropractic in Seven Lakes. After the first visit, I noticed a lot of improvement, and I've continued to improve with each treatment. Thanks to Dr. Wright, I'm feeling much better than I have in a very long time. I was skeptical about chiropractic treatment at first, but it has truly given me my life back.
This is Dr. Wright. I can't guarantee I can fix every problem, but I will tell you honestly whether chiropractic can be of help for your particular issue. Living with pain is not always the only option. Doesn't it make sense to explore every avenue before resigning yourself to the limitations of pain? Call our office today to schedule a consultation and start living again. 673-2225.
Hi, this is Rodney Swarms with Plumbing Night. We know that plumbing emergencies can happen at any time. In fact, they seem to happen at the most inconvenient times. And then inviting an unknown plumber into your home, that can add to the stress of the situation. The Plumbing Night wants to alleviate any stress about inviting a technician into your home by guaranteeing that we have not only the very best plumbers, but also the most knowledgeable plumbers. Before any of our employees are hired, all of the employees must undergo drug testing and a thorough background check. If they don't pass, they aren't hired. No exceptions. Once they're hired and part of the team, they receive continuous technical and customer training to ensure that they are the very best at the trade. This training is week after week, month after month, year after year. This training is what got us into community college to teach the plumbing trade. So the next time you have an emergency, call the Plumbing Night. They're known for extraordinary service and integrity.
Call the Plumbing Night at 639-5555, day or night, or on the web at theplumbingnight.com.
My name is Tony Keith of Keith Hardware in Carthage, North Carolina. I'm the third generation of a family-owned business. We've been in business for 83 years. We sell live bait, crickets, minnows, and worms, fishing tackle, nuts and bolts and screws by the piece. You can still come in and get nails weighed out by the pound or ones or twos, however you'd like.
The guys, they know what they're doing. You don't have to ask for service. You tell them what you need. If they ain't got it, usually they can conjure it up.
Keith Hardware has been a tradition in this town for as long as I've been in business, 42 years, and they run a good business and they're good people.
I came in with 2 pieces of plumbing. I handed it to this guy, and he took off the back and picked it up and brought it back. Their knowledge is invaluable to me.
With Keith Hardware for 28 years. I rent the building from them next door, and Tony and Ginger are doing an excellent job. I'm proud of them.
Come visit Keith Hardware today at 207 Monroe Street in Carthage.
We're just an old-fashioned hardware store.
The greatest comeback of all time is underway. Remember to shop local businesses. A reminder from Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM, WEEB.
The Zumwalt Zone is proudly sponsored by Moore County Citizens for Freedom, always looking out for you.
Hello, I'm John Zumwalt, and you're in the Zumwalt Zone. You know, I've always loved the ocean. Actually, having grown up in South Texas, I should say I've always loved the Gulf. When my dad was a young man, he made his living as a shrimp boat captain. He was on one boat that sunk, or is it sank? Have you ever heard of Captain Hanson Gregory? He was born in 1832. He died in 1921, and although he never got full recognition, he's a pretty famous guy. And I, for one, am really glad he lived, and I'll tell you why. He started his adventures on the high seas as a cabin boy. He worked in the galley. He worked his way up to captain and had all kind of adventures. He used to deliver supplies to San Francisco during the California gold rush. He had to sail around the very dangerous seas of Cape Horn at the tip of South America. On one trip, he rescued 7 sailors on a sinking ship. Doggone, that sounds like a tongue twister. For that, he was honored by Queen Isabella II. But honestly, sorry, Captain Gregory, but I couldn't care less about all your adventures. What he did as a cabin boy. You ready? This guy was the inventor of one of my all-time favorite things, the donut. The only thing ahead of him is the air conditioner inventor. I guess you could work in a few others, but these would remain in the top 10 for me. And yeah, I do know this is ridiculous, but I do love donuts. Even so, I hope you have a wonderful day and a safe one. From the Zumwalt Zone.
It appears the bigger heat is backing off, not to return anytime soon. Yesterday was 100 in Raleigh, 101 in Fayetteville, not even close today. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. It's partly to mostly cloudy. A chance for a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon, especially in the southern counties. Partly cloudy tonight. It's a little cooler with mid to upper 60s for our low temperatures. Tomorrow it's partly cloudy, a little less humid, upper 80s to about 90 for the highs. I'm Mike Mays in the North Carolina News Network Weather Center.
And now, the Sandhills' #1 morning show. Mornings with the LeaderMan. Here on Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. And heard and seen around the world at talk973.com.
The best part of waking up is waking up with us.
What day is it? Today, June 23rd, is National Pink Day. And yes, it really is a thing.
Today we celebrate being in the pink.
What is your favorite color?
My favorite color?
Pink.
That's my favorite color. We don't love pink. Pink loves me.
I smell pink.
Pink. It's all pink.
Happy National Pink Day.
Showtime.
So they give you anything, darling, all the joy money can bring, baby.
morning. Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. Welcome back to the most listened to program in all of the Sandhills. It's time once again for Mornings with the LeaderMan. I am Steve Leader Adams, along with the Colonel, retired Marine Colonel Jeff Drummond. Good morning, Colonel.
Good morning, Moore County. Nice and sunny out. Still probably good to get out and take your walk. Get the kids, shake the kids out of the rack. Hey, man, grab that sheet and blanket and yank it off of there. Get those kids up and get them outside in the sunlight. Perfect day to go out and kill all those little bio things crawling all over you, including some viruses. And viruses aren't bio, I know. But the sunlight kills them all. So get outside and, clean yourself up and, take in some healthy sunlight. Produce some vitamin D and be healthy. So enjoy your day.
All right. Don't forget, of course, we're being heard and seen around the world on a live video stream. That's available to you at least while we're on the air. Just to get there, just go to our website at talk973.com. or talk1041.com or WEEB990.com. Top middle of the homepage is where the video link's located. If you go to the upper right-hand corner of every page, you can get our audio stream simply by clicking that icon that says On the Air Listen Live. Click that once and you're listening that quick. Weather for us today here in the Sand Hills area, well, it's going to be, that's just great weather service. Now you want to crash on me. Hang on, we'll try it again. Here we go. Partly cloudy with a chance of thunderstorms today, 89 for a high. Humidity will be, okay, a little sticky, but okay. Tonight, partly cloudy, isolated thunderstorms, a low of 68. Tomorrow, a little less humidity, a little less heat, mostly sunny with a high of 88. Friday night, clear and 67. Saturday and Sunday, sunny both days. Humidity in check. Highs both days around 90. And Monday, that humidity starts going back up. Partly cloudy with a high of 91. Right now around the Sand Hills, solar radiation 230 watts per square meter. Pressure is 3019. Winds are calm. Dew point 69. Humidity 88. Let's make it 81%. It's sunny. 75 degrees currently here at Talk 97.3 FM, 104.1 FM, and 990 AM WEEB. All righty, it is 8:35, 35 past the hour on this Thursday morning. Got one more day before the weekend, but we're going to make it there. All righty, let's see. Did I pull that up? Yes, I did. All right, let's figure it out, shall we?
And now it's time for
Random facts. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, our random facts for today, and if we're lucky, a spare worked in there. One of these is kind of interesting. It takes longer to drown in salt water than in fresh water.
It does, huh? Okay.
Did not know that. Here's the interesting fact of all. The $1 million prize on America's Got Talent is actually an annuity that's paid out over 40 years.
Yeah, a lot of those prizes are, you don't know that. They just say, hey, you won $1 million.
Yeah.
So,
but you can take the current cash value when you win,
right,
which would be around $300,000 or roughly $150,000 after taxes. So you go from $1 million to $150,000. You just got screwed.
Well, but again, if you take it over the 40 years, then you end up with $1 million because the payments will add up to that. But they're just not giving it to you.
I'm not going to last 40 more years.
Yeah. Well, you have to go in there and look because you may be able to pass that on to your offspring or whoever kind of thing. I mean, a lot of it's all different from place to place and from prize to prize.
Right.
So you gotta look into there. I mean, it's almost demands that you go see a lawyer to go figure out how to take the cash prize or how to take the prize.
Yeah.
You know, and then you end up throwing half of your money away, you know, hiring the lawyer to figure it all out for you.
All right, the Milky Way candy bars are not named after the galaxy. They're named after a milkshake flavor that was popular in the 1920s.
Oh, interesting. Well, since I wasn't hanging around during the 20s, yeah, that's news to me.
The Go-Go's are the only female band ever to have a #1 album on the Billboard charts where they wrote their own songs and played their own instruments.
Really? That's interesting, actually.
And Play-Doh was originally created to be a wallpaper cleaner.
Play-Doh?
Play-Doh.
Oh, yeah, exactly. You can use it for... Well, that's why if you ever had Play-Doh as a kid, do they still make it? I don't even...
Yeah, they make it.
You used to be able to take the Play-Doh...
Cornstarch and flour, isn't it?
Flatten it out and put it on the comic page. They don't even have the comic page anymore.
Lift up the ink.
And lift up the ink, and then you'd stretch it and all that kind of, you know, amusement for 3-year-olds.
Yeah.
What can I say?
3-year-olds that last about 3 minutes.
But that's exactly what it was for, yeah, to clean up stains and get, you know, pull stuff off of the wall and add a paint.
And when kids wanted to eat it, it wouldn't hurt them.
Yeah, that's
not going
true,
to taste
too.
good, but
I never tried it. I think my brother did, and that's why I figured out, you know, okay, his reaction tells me I shouldn't be eating that stuff. So, you know, that's why it's nice to have an older brother sometimes, you know. Watch all the stupid stuff he does, and then you don't repeat it.
All right, let's check in with Twitter feeds. For Monica Crowley, the one screaming the loudest about, quote, threats to our democracy, end quote, are the ones threatening it the most.
Yeah. Well, you know, that's been long known. You know, whatever you're being accused of, you know, if somebody's pointing the finger at you and saying you're the racist or you're this or you're the fascist or whatever, they are probably the one that are, you know, engaged in racism, fascism, etc. So yeah, that's true. Yep.
I don't know what happened in Uvalde, but I know a lot of cops, and not one of them would stand in a hall for an hour while 10-year-olds are being executed. I don't have a theory, but you can count on me there has to be more to this camp.
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense. It was the chief school resource officer who's on administrative leave right now, whatever that means. And he's the one that told everybody to stand down and wait till more stuff showed up. Yeah, why? The kids are being killed. That makes sense.
Yeah, the more information as time goes on, the more information comes out, and it's pretty evident now that a little more initiative just on the part of one individual could have precluded a lot of what happened. I mean, I don't want to sit here and you know, nobody would have. It's just evident now that what happened in Toto didn't need to happen.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of the teachers that was shot texted her husband, who was a police officer, and he tried to get in there. He was out in the hallway, or got into the hallway, tried to go in, and he was grabbed up by a couple other cops and escorted out of the building while his wife just texted him that she's shot and bleeding,
died,
and she bled to death.
Yeah.
So there's just all kinds of things going on here that are just wrong, and it's pretty clear that that not everything that happened there should have happened. That one individual standing out in that hall, apparently the doors weren't even locked.
Yeah.
All somebody had to do is go over there and try to open the door and would have found out that it was unlocked. And, you know, I don't know if that's true, but that's what's being reported. And so one individual goes over there, hey, the door's open. Boom, go in there. But they didn't do it.
Yep. Well, if there ever was an example of the Peter Principle, this is it. Because this SRO commander just in way over his head.
Was he the SRO guy, or was he a local?
He was the chief SRO. Chief of SRO.
I don't know what to say about all of that. I just, it's just every day it seems like there's another tidbit of information that comes out that shows incompetence and just lack of.
There are situations where you can't wait for SWAT to get there. You got to go then, and the parents were willing to go.
Well, that's just it. They were all there. They had shields, they had rifles, they had everything there within minutes, and stood in the hallway for. They had it. There was a timeline for 57 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, pointing their guns at a wall,
and did nothing while the shooting was going on.
Oh.
And I don't know what to say to all that. I really don't.
Yeah. Well, they're cowards, every one of them.
I don't know.
They didn't have to listen to that unlawful command. They could have gone in and stopped the problem.
It seems to me that they're well, I don't know. I don't know.
All right, more Twitters. From Laura Ingram, seems likely that they're let's see. Idiotic gun. Let's see. Seems likely with their idiotic gun deal that Cornyn and McConnell have both decided not to run for re-election.
Yeah, Cornyn is the Texas senator down there. He's not up for election this term, so he's either hoping that it'll all be blown over, or we will have been subsumed as a communist state by the time, in any case, he's really rolled over and stuck us all. And McConnell, they've been saying I've been reading and hearing things about him for the last 5, 6, 7, 10 years that he needs to go, and that he's just a deep swamp. Well, again, there I misused the term swamp. He's a deep sewer rat, and should go. And they keep electing him. Cornyn, hey Texas, do something about him. Hey, where's McConnell from? He's from Kentucky, isn't he?
Yeah.
Get rid of him. And they don't. And my understanding is that I read something here about a month or two ago that oh God, what's his name from West Virginia, the senator? Jeez, the senator that's kind of derailed things for the Democrats. He's a Democrat. That he considered he would consider realigning with the Republicans, but he won't do it because McConnell is the Senate minority leader, the Republican leader. So he won't. I can see a picture of him. I just can't think of his name right now.
You don't like McConnell?
No, he won't do it because of the things McConnell does, et cetera. But he's derailed Schumer's plans several times to pack the court and to do other things. So I don't have my website up to figure out who it is. But as soon as you say the name, I'll slap myself in the forehead. And, I just, for whatever reason, it's not coming to me. So.
Benny Johnson tweets, every GOP senator voting for gun control will lose their seat next election. Mark my words, this will be worse than voting for impeachment.
Yeah. Well, that's it. If you look at all those clowns, those Senate clown Republicans that voted for this, they're either retiring, they're not up for re-election this cycle. Burr is one of them. He's done. He's not going to run again. And Tillis doesn't come up for re-election for another 4 years now. So yeah, they're all betting on that everybody will have forgotten what happened, et cetera, and vote for him again. And we've said from the beginning that when Tillis first ran, there were plenty of people here that were waving the red flag about Tillis and saying don't we need to find someone else. And then we reelect him because
he and Burr both stuck us in the back.
Well, Burr, but like I said, I ignore him because he's retiring.
Right.
But the last time around when he ran, he was considering retiring, and then he decided to run. And plenty of people here saying, "Hey, we need to find somebody besides Burr," and we didn't do it. Plenty of people here said Tillis is not a good candidate to run, and yet. The Republican Party here made sure he got the nomination or won the primary and all of that, and now we're stuck with these two backstabbing. So, I'm not gonna say any more. We just need to get rid of them.
Stephen Miller, who you see on Fox a lot, he's the one with the bald head. He's the lawyer. And he says, kind of with tongue-in-cheek, he says, canceling drilling in Anwar, which could produce up to 7 times more oil than we import from Russia, is truly one of Putin's most cunning and dastardly moves. It's right up there with Putin tricking Pelosi and Schumer into unleashing runaway inflation by passing the American Rescue Act.
Yeah, this is amazing. Again, if you look at the Anwar, the little dot in Anwar where all that oil comes from, and the new technologies, the sideways angled drilling and all that, the footprint of that is just minuscule compared to the gaping holes in the ground where nickel, cadmium, lithium, and all these other electric vehicle necessities are mined throughout the world.
Oh yeah, they did a study on electric vehicles versus gas vehicles.
Yeah.
And the carbon footprint they leave behind for the whole life of the car.
Right.
Including making it.
Right. Life cycle.
And the EV, the electrical vehicle, left a larger carbon footprint than a regular gas car.
Yes, they
in
do.
all categories, all sizes. They left the bigger carbon footprint than their gas competitors. So thank you, know-it-all Democrats.
Yeah, the green weenies, that's what they're doing. Actually, they are, when you throw in, like you say, electric, get your biggest gas guzzler and get your most efficient green weenie vehicle and side by side do what's called a life cycle survey or life cycle analysis of everything, like you say, from beginning to end, including how do you handle the batteries, etc. When that vehicle is done, how do you dispose of it? How do you produce it, dispose of it, etc. That gas guzzler has less of a carbon footprint, and that's what people don't understand. And the other piece of this is when you get down to the life cycle management, production and hazardous waste, and how to get rid of that hazardous waste when it's all done. Windmills and solar panels are going to be one of the biggest polluters this world has ever seen. And we're just now starting to see it with the windmills. Like I've said it several times, when you have a windmill and those blades don't stay on there forever. They wear out because they get hit, sand, dust, etc., rain, snow, ice, sleet, and birds hit them and split them and cause problems with those. You have to replace those blades, and you can't do anything with them. You can't melt them. You can't grind them up. If you grind them up, oh my God, then you've got this dust particle disaster if you try to do that. And what are they doing with those blades? They have to bury them whole. They have to put them in a big, dig a big ditch, lay those blades in there, each one of which is the wingspan of a 747, and bury them. And that's what they do. And they'll stay there forever. Why? Because they won't break down.
Kind of like nuclear waste.
Well, nuclear waste, you can minimize nuclear waste like they do in France. We've had that discussion too. If you reprocess it, et cetera, you can keep shrinking that actual piece of nuclear waste that you have glowing and sitting in the dark. You don't have to do it. That's the way we do it. You just put it in there, and once that rod, that nuclear power, uranium rod, gets down to a certain percentage of power, we just take it out and dispose of it. Whereas the French will take that out, process away that part of the rod which is no longer active, and then add back to it and keep doing that. And then what they process and what they have left over for waste is nowhere near the problem radiation-wise that we have.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, United States, we developed the technology that the French used to do that.
Right,
so
submarines.
Yeah, so this is like no surprise here on how to do these kind of things. And yeah, the hazardous waste from all these mining, like you say, you start with lithium. Just take one lithium component for these batteries for these electric cars, and go look at a lithium mine. Find out, look up lithium mine. Find out where some of them are. Go on Google and look at the big hole in the ground and the disaster area that surrounds that lithium mine. Nickel also.
Yeah.
Any component for these batteries, and look at the environmental disaster that surrounds any one of those mines, and then go look at Anwar where they're pumping oil, and you compare the two and tell me which one you think is worse for the environment.
Yeah. All right. Some other,
fifth graders do that. I know a couple of fifth graders that did that for a project and came to that exact conclusion. Said,
what about the carbon?
No, about these mines, compare Anwar to these various nickel, lithium, cadmium mines, etc. And a fifth grader is smart enough to sit there and say, "Oh, good Lord, look at that!
Yeah,
that's ridiculous."
And who has the deposits of all that? Mostly China.
Well, it's Chinese. They're Africa. If you look at the nickel mine up in Canada, I mean, it looks like a nuclear. It does look like a nuclear wasteland up there with all the area around it that's just devastated, absolutely devastated.
Let's see. From Dana Lash, Republican senators should take a page from Blackburn. I don't know what that means. All right, Marsha Blackburn. Okay, that's what it means. Senator Marsha Blackburn. Tonight, I oppose the gun legislation released only an hour before the vote. That would infringe on law-abiding Americans' Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, there you go.
You think of this. You got some fat dude wearing a police outfit and got his gun with him, and he comes and thinks you're a hazard to yourself. So this brain trust will then decide that you should be red flagged.
Right.
Do you really want that? I don't. And plus, every time you lose a right, you never get it back. How about we keep one once in a while?
Well, you can thank Burr, you can thank Tillis, you can thank Cornyn in Texas, and who are the rest of them? I can't even think of the names. The list is out there.
But if you're in a situation where you're mad and all that, but you're not displaying a gun or anything else, they can declare you red flagged. Senator Jim Jordan, a school system in Virginia just made it punishable offense to misgender a student. Offenders would face a weeks-long suspension and referrals to local law enforcement. Since when did trusting the science become a crime?
Well, yeah, and what school system was that? That was Fairfax, I believe. Yeah, pretty sure it was Fairfax, Virginia. And who do we know from Fairfax? The other thing is you see now that there's starting to be some pushback. The international rugby guys, the international there's several of the sporting things have said, hey, all this transgenderism and stuff, get out. We're not having men compete with women and vice versa, and just banned it. So there's starting to be pushback on a lot of this garbage. And it's garbage. I agree with several people have called it worse, a more explicit term, but it's garbage.
All right, we got 2 minutes left. We're going to play hard trivia. Okay. Our Thursday hard trivia.
Okay.
In the TV show Friends, what color is Ross's favorite shirt?
Who knows?
Think of what today is. National
I don't know.
Pink Day.
Pink Day. Okay. Well, good for him. Which one was Ross? I never watched that show. Had a catchy tune, though.
What was the first comedy to be filmed, regular TV comedy, to be filmed before a live audience?
Oh, man. Yeah, that just popped up. Man, I can't remember. Go ahead. I can't remember.
I Love Lucy.
Was it? Okay. Yeah, there you go. All right.
I don't know if you'll know this, but which famous American pop singer was actually born in the state of Hawaii?
Pop singer?
He's very popular today.
Well, I don't know.
Bruno Mars.
I'd never heard of him.
What office building in Washington was built in less than 16 months during World War II?
The Pentagon.
The Pentagon. Which actor was originally cast to play Back to the Future character Marty McFly? Eric Schultz.
I never heard of him either.
Norm was the character in which major TV hit?
Oh, Cheers.
Yeah.
I did watch Cheers. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, I did see that.
That's about all the time we got for trivia.
Okay.
All right, well, so it goes for this Thursday. Have yourself a great, safe day. We'll see you back bright and early tomorrow for a TSIF. Thanks, Steve. It's Friday and our free-for-all. Until then, be sure to support the businesses you hear on WEEB. Our local business is our local solution to our local economy, to our own recovery, our best defense against inflation and stagnation. So support them with your spending dollars, and be sure to tell them WEEB asked you to come. That will help us. And also, don't forget, millions of Americans have fought and they have died to give and protect the freedoms that you get to enjoy today. So live today worthy of their and their family's sacrifice. I'm Steve Leader Adams and the Leader Man, and Nick and Colt the dog. We'll all see you at 2 o'clock this afternoon at the dog park.
Hey guys, Ryan here, and I'm really excited to show you something that will revolutionize podcast production, the Rodecaster Pro. The Rodecaster Pro is a fully integrated podcast production studio packed with a host of amazing features specifically designed for podcasters. We've created this product after listening to thousands of our customers asking us how to make a podcast. Products such as the Podcaster and the NT-USB solve that problem for many individuals, but creating a podcast with more people, music, interviews, phone calls, and so on is still really hard, needing a huge amount of equipment and know-how. So what were people asking for? They needed a simple way to create a stereo podcast and include all the creative ideas they had. Interviews, music, sound effects, and so on, but without needing either a studio engineer or to be an expert in audio post-production and editing. They wanted it to be fast and easy so they could publish their podcast right out of the box. There are literally millions of podcasts now available across a wide range of categories and styles. Increasingly, it's not just the large broadcasters and publishers who are creating podcasts. Enthusiasts, specialists, businesses, or indeed anyone with an idea to share is now able to create a podcast and broadcast it to the entire world. The Rodecaster Pro is what everyone has been waiting for. A fully featured podcast studio that is really easy to use and allows podcasters to unleash their creativity without having to worry about the technology. It's for this reason that it records to a stereo file. You can create a full podcast with everything in place in a single process without needing to do mixing, post-production, or editing. This hugely simplified workflow is easy for beginners and is a huge time saver for more experienced podcasters who can now spend more time researching and perfecting their podcast and less time slaving over a multi-track edit. Let me give you a quick overview of the features of this amazing new product. The Rodecaster Pro gives you control over 8 separate audio sources, but first up we have 4 high-quality microphone inputs. The mic channels are really easy to set up and include broadcast quality features such as Aphex audio processing, like the legendary Big Bottom and Aural Exciter. Without needing to set complex controls, you really can sound just like they do in professional studios. There are also 4 high-power headphone outputs, each with their own independent volume control, so each of your guests can have the audio level that they want in their headphones. The master headphones on channel 1 also have access to the solo buttons on the console to allow the operator to monitor and check audio sources without affecting the other guests' headphones. Over on this side of the console, we have these eye-catching sound pads. These can be used to instantly fire off sound effects or jingles during your podcast, with the level controlled via this fader.
Those thoughts, we're going to continue this podcast in just a moment.
Triggering sound effects, jingles, ads, or even whole pre-recorded interviews via the sound pads adds a whole new dimension to your podcast, giving it a fully professional feel with minimal effort or setting up. You can record new sounds to the pads directly from the console, which is great for pre-recording interviews or music. Alternatively, you can import sound files directly using the PC or Mac app that ships with the Rodecaster Pro, which is perfect if you already have the sounds that you need pre-produced. The Rodecaster Pro also ships preloaded with some amazing sound effects from the Rick Veer's Blast Wave Effects sound library so that you can add them to your podcast just by hitting the pads. While the Rodecaster Pro has a lot of advanced features, we've really worked hard to ensure that it's super easy to use. You really can take it right out of the box and be recording your first podcast within minutes. When you're ready to record, you just hit this big record button. That will start recording directly to the micro SD card. When you insert a micro SD card, the Rodecaster Pro will prompt you to format it if it's not already formatted correctly, and it will tell you how much recording time you have available. While you're recording, a timer helps you keep track of how long your podcast has been going for. Using traditional equipment, it's really hard to record phone interviews correctly. You need a lot of equipment and expertise. This has been made really easy with the Rodecaster Pro thanks to the 2 channels for connecting mobile devices. One via a TRRS jack and the other via Bluetooth. Both of these channels automatically provide a mix minus, giving you crystal clear, echo-free audio whether you're on a regular cell phone call or whether you're using a communications app such as Slack or Skype. Of course, both channels can also be used to bring music or other audio from your devices into your podcasts. The last channel is this USB channel. The Rodecaster Pro is a class-compliant USB interface, and you can use this USB channel to play back music or other audio from your PC or Mac into your podcast. The USB interface is of course bi-directional, meaning that the output of the Rodecaster Pro is also available on that connection so that you can record your podcast to your favorite audio recording software at the same time you're recording it to the integrated micro SD card. Finally, there are speaker outputs too, which are perfect for feeding studio monitors, or if you're doing a podcast at a live event, you could use them to connect to a PA system for the audience to hear. Thanks guys. In just a few minutes, I've only been able to cover the basics of this amazing new console, so please check out our other more detailed videos, and don't forget to subscribe and stay up to date with all of the latest information from Rode. Self. To do this, simply tap a sound to see the detail screen for that particular sound, and from here you can change the color, playback settings, or record new sounds without needing to use the companion app. You'll also see in these settings that there is now a completely new sounds playback style called pause. As the name suggests, when the button is pressed while a sound is playing, it will be paused until you press the same sound pad again, or long press the same button to stop that sound. This is especially useful for longer interviews or recordings that you might fire off using the sound pads. And lastly, on the topic of the sound pads, you can now store up to 8 banks of sounds on your Rodecaster Pro. This is especially useful if you are using the same Rodecaster Pro to create different podcasts. With this feature, you can quickly switch between sound banks without needing to reload all of your sounds. You can also still set up these banks via the companion app if you find it easier to do this on a computer. The companion app now also has the ability to copy the sounds from the pads back onto your computer. Perfect if you've recorded an interview onto one of the sound pads and you want to be able to transfer it to your computer for archiving. The companion app also allows you not just to set up and save banks of sounds, but also save a complete snapshot of the Rodecaster Pro setup. This is called a show, and it allows you to save the whole setup, sounds, banks, settings, channels, everything, so that you can quickly and easily restore it to your Rodecaster Pro. This is perfect where multiple people might be using the same Rodecaster Pro, but you want to be able to quickly set it up with your preferred settings. It also means that you can copy a show from one Rodecaster Pro to another. Again, perfect if you have a larger facility with multiple podcasting studios. If you just wanted to save the settings for your Rodecaster Pro without the banks or sounds, you can also do this with the companion app. We've also overhauled the interaction between the Rodecaster Pro and the companion app so that they are linked more directly. You'll notice that each change you make on your companion app will be mirrored in real time on your Rodecaster Pro, and the same vice versa, making it easier and quicker to track your changes. In addition to all of these new features, the companion app now has the option to restore your sound pads with the factory sounds if you wanted to go back to the basics. It can automatically sync the clock on your Rodecaster Pro with the time and date on your computer, and you also now have the option to use dark mode on your Mac or PC. Another feature that's been highly requested is to be able to access recordings on the micro SD card directly from your computer. With version 2.0, this is now possible using the new podcast transfer mode. You can enable this in the micro SD card screen. Once active, the micro SD card inside the Rodecaster Pro will then appear in the Finder on a Mac or in the File Explorer on Windows. The Rodecaster Pro appears as a read-only device, so you can download the recordings to your computer in this mode without risking accidentally deleting or altering any of the recordings that you have on the card. We've also introduced some new broadcast-ready features to help those of you who use the Rodecaster Pro in a live environment. The first is some additional modes available on the solo and mute buttons. As well as the default solo mode, you can...
So it is super fun to produce a podcast, but there are a seemingly unlimited number of options when it comes to determining your workflow. My name is Tom, this is The Enthusiasm Project, and today I want to share with you my workflow for recording and distributing my podcast using the Rodecaster Pro and Anchor. There are an unlimited number of workflows out there. Mine is based on speed and simplicity. So that is what I'm going for, and if you don't already and I should mention my settings real quick. So I'm not doing anything too crazy when it comes to the settings for my microphones. Using the pod mics, I just go into each channel and I do use the pod mic default setting, but I make a few adjustments. This is the 2.1 firmware, so I go into audio processing. I do like to use the big bottom, which makes me laugh every time I say it, just to add in a little bit of bass. I keep the level at about 34, 35, the gain level, and that sounds pretty good. And of course the pod mic itself works better if you talk closer to it. So if you kind of put it to the side of your mouth, it'll miss the breath and you won't get those sounds, those plosive sounds. This is everything I do to prepare for my podcast. I usually mute my microphone first, and then literally all I do when I'm ready to record is I sit down, I press record, I play my intro song, and while this is playing, my mic is muted. And then I wait, unmute my mic. Hello and welcome to The Enthusiasm Project. My name is Tom, and this is not a real episode because it is a test episode that I'm doing for a video that I'm making. And look at me talking as I'm also fading out the intro song. See, all that drum practice really paid off for that limb independence taking place. And now I'm jumping straight into the podcast. If I had a guest here, which I don't, I would put them on channel 2 and talk to them. If I need to play something from the computer, that's when I can bring up the TRS channel, the smartphone channel. And then when it's time for me to play some background music, I just play it off my computer. You can hear it on this channel, and I can kind of keep it in the background as a music bed as I talk. So you can mix in all kinds of different sounds. Of course, you could load in more songs to your sound effects pads. I just have all my dumb, jokey sounds. For example, do you know where audio equipment likes to go to socialize and network and meet each other? To the mixer. But obviously, you could add in more useful things than that if you wanted to your Rodecaster. And then I just have the music playing in the background. When I'm ready to end my show, I just fade that out, and that's usually when I say, okay, cool, I've been talking and you've been listening, and it's just been terrific. And then I play the outro song and slowly fade it in and go like, cool, what an amazing episode. I love you. It's great. Thank you so much. And then I turn off my mic and wait for the song to stop. And as soon as that song ends, all I do is press record. I should mention, though, while I am recording, if I need to take a break, I just hold down the record button for a second or two and it puts it in record pause mode, and then I can take a drink of water and then press record and jump right back into where I left off, and it's a seamless cut that you don't even notice in the final version. So I sometimes will do that once or twice throughout an episode, and that's it. So now I have a fully finished podcast episode in here, and I just need to put it here so I can upload it to there. And now with Rode's new firmware update, the easiest way to do that is just to connect the Rodecaster to the computer using a USB-C cable, and then all I need to do is open up the Rode Companion app, click on Podcasts, and I can just enter Podcast Transfer Mode, which if you saw my firmware update video, you kind of know all this. But I can select the podcast I just recorded right now. I can give it a name. Always important to give your podcast an actual title. So this is a test. Yay. I'm going to do my export options for Anchor because that is where I upload my podcast. I'm going to save it as an MP3, to my desktop. Now, how long this takes will depend on how long your podcast is. It's usually relatively quick, but remember, you're not only